Before we bring in Tom Verducci from Sports Illustrated, and of course worked the game last night for Fox, here's Clayton Kershaw this past Friday where I talked to him about the baseballs.
People are saying the ball's juiced, all baseball season, and I'll be the first to jump on that bandwagon because I've given up a ton of homers. So, I'm all in on that philosophy. But, at the end of the day, I always say it's like, well, everybody else is dealing with it too, right? It's not like I'm the only one giving up a lot more homers. So, I don't really care. Homers are cool. People like seeing them. So, if they're doing something sneaky or behind our backs, that's fine with me. I don't really care.
He might feel differently today after last night. He's now given up 8 home runs in the postseason, most ever by a pitcher. We bring in Tom Verducci, Sports Illustrated, Major League Baseball on Fox. Tom, you wrote a column where you're talking about these baseballs. Summarize the column, and what kind of impact has that had on this World Series, in your opinion?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt since 2015, last 2 months of the season, that the ball is livelier for whatever reason. But the issue now here in the World Series, Dan, is that the pitchers and pitching coaches from both teams are telling me that this ball, the World Series ball, is slicker than the regular season ball. And they're having a hard time getting a good grip on the ball, especially when it comes to breaking off sliders. And I think you saw it again last night with Kershaw. He threw 39 sliders last night and had one swing and miss. It's the fewest he's had in like 134 starts. I mean, he just couldn't get that thing to move the way it normally does. And I asked him about it after the game, and he kind of gave a wry grin, and he shrugged his shoulders, and he said, well, I guess it's the same for both teams. So, whether there's something going on with the ball or not, I don't know, but I do know this. These guys have the baseball in their hands all the time. Any alterations to the ball, these pitchers and pitching coaches, it's their business to know it.
But I noticed Darvish, I know Kershaw, like the ball seemed flatter. There wasn't as much movement there. I know both staffs are dealing with it. Do you think baseball, have you asked baseball if they wanted this? This was intentional?
No, I don't think they wanted this. My own theory on the ball in general over the last couple of years is that there has always been a window of what the performance of the ball is, both in terms of size, weight, and how lively the ball is. There's some leeway here, margin of error, if you will. Well, I think the technology and the manufacturing has gotten so good that they can manufacture these balls closer to the narrow end of the liveliness, or maybe the higher end, if you will. So it's a more lively ball. It's a tighter ball. The seams are lower. You get lower seams, you're going to have less drag. The less drag you have, the more the ball is going to carry. So, yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was only in 2014. We were talking about a real downturn in offense of the game. We were headed towards 1968. I mean, it was the worst offensive period since the DH was established in 73. And we made a U-turn. And there's never been a period in baseball history where home runs and runs scored went up as quickly as this did without some obvious reason. In the past it was always maybe guys coming back from war, or you had the DH, or you had a livelier ball back in the 20s. We don't have any of those things in play here other than the ball itself and the questions people have about it.
If I didn't see the game last night, how would you sum it up?
Action flick. You go see an action movie for the first time, and there's like a million scenes, cars are crashing, there's monsters, and it's like, I got to go back and see that thing again and figure out what actually happened. I was talking to some players about that after the game. Like, what was your favorite part? What will you remember? And let me tell you something. After that game, that's as spent as I've seen a clubhouse. And that was the winning team, the Astros. I'm talking about mentally, physically. Their brains were shot from that game. It was really a fun ride. I know it was a long game, but people who stuck through it really got rewarded because I thought the action was really good. I mean, there was guys on base galore, balls flying out of the ballpark and off walls. It was entertaining.
It reminded me of the movie Mad Max. There was just so much involved in Mad Max. I don't know if it was – but see, with Mad Max, I didn't know if it was a great movie or not. I knew that was a great game last night, but I did have to go back and watch Mad Max again. I was just fascinated with big moments. Although Kershaw and Keuchel didn't step up, the hitters did step up in big moments there. Who's your MVP so far at this point?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. The top four there. I mean, I love what Bregman has done this whole series, especially defensively in his big moments. But last night, to me, I mean, if you're talking one moment or sequence in the game, how about Brandon Morrow comes in for the 12th time in 13 games, right? And with 6 pitches later, the top four in that Astros lineup had produced 4 runs, double, single, or homer, single, double, homer. It was amazing to see that flurry from the top of that order. So all those guys, I think, are in the mix. So to me, that sequence there, Dan, everything you want to know about baseball these days, where the ball is flying, we have a ton of relief pitchers in the game, and a ton of home runs. It's the intersection of home runs and relief pitching in that one sequence in the 7th.
But we're talking to Tom Verducci of Sports Illustrated, Major League Baseball on Fox. But I ask you this after Game 2 as the series shifted to Houston, who had momentum. And here we are with another dramatic Houston win in Game 5 as the series now shifts to L.A. Momentum clearly with the Astros with Verlander on the mound?
Yeah, it is with JV getting the ball in his hands. I mean, listen, they've won every game that he's pitched, either in relief or starting for them. I mean, they've got good at bats up and down the lineup now. Very different from Game 2 where they rallied late in that game, but now everybody's hot. Everybody's confident. Yeah, I have to say that momentum just because of Verlander. And you know what? Dave Roberts knew that before the game last night. We were talking to him in his office before the game, the Dodgers manager, and he talked about using as many pitchers as he could and really playing the game urgently because he had Kershaw tonight, or at least Game 5 there, and knowing that Verlander was there in Game 6. He said, we have to win Kershaw gets the ball, just like they have to win when Verlander gets the ball. So he's looming out there for him.
Tom, thanks for joining us on short notice, and safe travels back to Los Angeles.
You got it. Thanks for having me, Dan.
That's Tom Verducci, great baseball writer from Sports Illustrated.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.